Hey there, coffee breakers! Sorry for getting this episode out so late. It's been a busy but fulfilling day. I hope your Saturday treated you as well as mine did, even with a few bumps in the road. That's just life, isn't it? With that said, let's dive into our coffee break. Hello again and welcome back. I hope your Christmas preparations are going smoothly, whether you're looking forward to celebrating the arrival of Jesus Christ, as I am, or Santa Claus. May everything come together with minimal stress, no trouble, and only minor adjustments if needed. Bullet point 1. I think my holiday decorating is officially wrapped up for the year. Friday evening, I switched on the outdoor Christmas lights, and this morning, I arranged the nutcrackers on the fireplace mantle. I usually prefer a more understated approach to decorating, unless someone else wants to take charge and go full Hallmark or Great American Family Christmas with putting up and taking down the decor. I'd happily let them. Bullet point 2. The chill in the air today has been refreshing, and I'm really embracing it. Days like this let me layer up in a favorite V-neck or an outrageous Christmas sweater, sip some hot chocolate, and reflect on how fortunate I am. Especially knowing that many aren't as blessed, or are they? I truly wish I could do more for those facing hardships. At the very least, I make it a point to pray for them each day and offer help whenever I can, because their struggles weigh heavily on my heart. Bullet point 3. Today, I handed out the initial round of invitations and calls for nominations for the 2026 Teresa Rogers Good Neighbor Cano Awards, which are set for Saturday, August 15th, 2026, at the Property Event Center in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. The 2023 award recipients will kick off the nomination process from January 1st through January 14th, 2026. Following that, nominations will be open to Catholic and Protestant Oklahomans until February 28, 2026, when the window officially closes. I'm genuinely excited to discover who will be nominated for the 2026 CANO Awards. Bullet point 4. I've said this before, but it's worth repeating. I am deeply grateful to God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, for this incredible blessing that's been a long time coming. Starting January 1st, 2026, Carlos Michael Communications Media and the Carlos Michael Studio will officially become an LLC with our office based in Sand Springs, Oklahoma. It feels like the perfect moment to use the gifts God has given me to serve Him and our neighbors, hoping that this journey will bring positive change, beginning with myself. If you too believe in the power of prayer, I truly appreciate you remembering me, our neighbors, and this new endeavor in your prayers. Thank you. Bullet point 5. For the sake of transparency, I want to emphasize that I am by no means a saint, despite what anyone might assume. I recognize there's still a considerable gap between where I am now and where I aspire to be, but each day I strive to grow in chastity, humility, mercy, love, and charity, always aiming to be a better person than I was yesterday. Your continued prayers mean so much to me, and I promise to keep you in mind as well. I truly believe in the power of prayer, no matter how God chooses to answer. After all, His will takes precedence over mine. With that in mind, let's reconnect after the break. How about a short story? Snow drifted softly over the quiet little town, settling on rooftops and twinkling lights like a blanket of peace. Inside those warm homes were families laughing, baking, wrapping gifts. But out in the cold walked a boy named Charlie, who wasn't sure Christmas had room for someone like him. He had spent so many days feeling invisible, so many moments wondering if kindness was something meant for other kids. What Charlie didn't know was that this Christmas Eve held a secret, a meeting that would change the way he saw himself forever. Coffee Breakers Across America, the Carlos Michael Studio and Coffee House Productions presents Charlie's Christmas Light, written and narrated by Alejandro Armando Armand.
Charlie had always felt small. Not because he was small, though he was the shortest kid in his class, but because the world around him seemed so loud, so sharp, so quick to point out every difference he carried. The other kids at school teased him for his quiet voice, his hand-me-down coat, even the way he held his books close to his chest like they were shields. By December, Charlie felt like winter had settled inside him long before it ever touched the ground. One snowy evening, Charlie wandered into the town square after school, hoping the Christmas lights might distract him from the ache in his chest. The nativity scene stood in the center, glowing softly under the falling snow. Charlie always liked the manger. There was something peaceful about it, something gentle. He sat on the bench nearby, hugging his knees, when he heard a warm voice behind him. "Mind if I sit with you?" Charlie turned and nearly dropped his backpack. A man in a red coat trimmed with white fur stood smiling at him. His beard was snowy, his eyes bright, and he held 2 steaming cups of hot chocolate. Charlie blinked. "You're Santa?" The man chuckled, the sound deep and kind. "That's what they call me, and I thought you might like a warm drink." Charlie hesitated, then accepted the cup. The warmth seeped into his fingers, then deeper into the cold places he tried so hard to hide. They sat quietly for a moment, watching the lights twinkle around the manger. "You've had a hard year," Santa said softly. Charlie's throat tightened. He didn't know how Santa knew, but somehow it didn't scare him. It felt like someone finally seeing him, not the version the bullies mocked, but the real Charlie underneath. "Why do people have to be so mean?" Charlie whispered. Santa took a slow sip of his hot chocolate. "Sometimes people forget their own light, and when they do, they try to dim someone else's. But that's not the end of the story." He nodded toward the manger scene. "Do you know why that baby was born in a place like that?" Santa asked. Charlie shook his head. "Because light doesn't wait for perfect places," Santa said. "It shows up in the dark. That baby, Jesus, came into the world to remind every hurting heart that they are loved beyond measure. Especially little ones like you." Charlie stared at the tiny figure in the manger, the soft glow around it. Something warm flickered inside him, small but real. "Even when people are mean?" he asked. "Especially then," Santa said. "Love doesn't disappear just because someone else can't see it. And you, Charlie, you carry more light than you know." Charlie felt his eyes sting, but for the first time in a long time, the tears didn't feel heavy. They felt like snow melting in spring. Santa stood and placed a gentle hand on Charlie's shoulder. "Whenever you feel small, remember this night. Remember that you are loved deeply, fiercely, endlessly." Charlie looked up to thank him, but Santa was already walking away, leaving only footprints in the snow and the lingering scent of peppermint. Charlie held his hot chocolate close and looked again at the manger. The lights seemed brighter now, as if they were shining just for him. And for the first time in his short life, Charlie didn't feel small at all. He felt seen, he felt loved, he felt light.
Long after the snow stopped falling and the town square lights dimmed, Charlie carried the warmth of that night with him. Whenever the world felt heavy or unkind, he remembered the glow of the manger, the sweetness of hot chocolate, and Santa's gentle words about a love that never fades. And slowly, day by day, Charlie discovered that the light he'd been told he carried was real, a light that grew brighter each time he chose kindness, hope, and courage. Christmas would come and go each year, but the truth he learned that night stayed with him always. He was loved, he was seen, and he was never alone. I see you, but God sees all of you and still loves you. Yes, you. Until next time, God bless.